What it do? I'd like to welcome y'all to the second episode of the InLove with Words podcast, where we work to eliminate the negative stereotypes that are commonly associated with hip hop while paying value and respect to the impact its lyrics have had on society. I am your host, Chris D. Those of y'all who are tuning in for this second episode, man, I appreciate y'all for getting at me on the comeback, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in and kind of seeing what it is that we got to bring to you today. For those of y'all who this is your first time listening, hey, this is only the second episode. It ain't like y'all got a lot to catch up with, but I definitely thank y'all for tapping in and tuning in today. I hope whatever I bring to y'all is something that y'all can take back and value and put something in perspective in your own life. Man, today we are going over a topic that, man, for me personally, I struggled with it for a little bit, still struggling with it now. Man, it's just a everyday trying to figure it out, get it done, and keep moving forward. But that's our topic today is the concept of fatherhood and what it takes to be a father. So before we go into it, the song that we are going to be reviewing today comes from another Houston artist. Those of y'all who were with me on the first episode, like I told y'all, man, my first few kickoffs of episodes, I'm going to try and give y'all some of the music that kind of helped shape me into who I was who I am, and the man that I've grown to be. So I had to definitely start off with some of the Houston artists that I've listened to since my teenage years up until now. Because, man, ain't nothing like Houston music to me. That's top on my radar. I love rap, but then I love Houston rap, man, to the death, man. That's what made me and raised me. So the song that we're going through today, it comes, it's a song called Love Letter. This song calls off of an album from a man who I think I started hearing him on the music scene. I remember vividly, it was like my first year in college. So it was probably like 98, 99, something like that. But I think he was already making his tracks in the city, even before that. But man, he started then and he's still going strong. So as always, let's give y'all his official birth name, because once again, as I always say, with these artists, I want you all to recognize that, man, these are artists. These are humans. These are not artists just sitting here made up as an act to, entertain you. These are real people telling real stories. One thing I'm going to try and do on this podcast is not bring you any of that hip hop pop, what the radio is pushing. I'm pushing real stories that really impact and put a visualization on what life is for everybody, not just in the hood, just everybody. So this guy here, he's no different from that at all. He definitely, everything I've heard from him has been genuine, been 100% who he is and what he is. I've never met him personally, but being in the city, I know people that know people, and he is from what I've heard, he is who he is, and that's what it is. So with no further ado, the artist that brought you the song Love Letter that we are going to go over today is Mr. Stave Jerome Thomas. And if you don't know who that is, you probably know him better by his rapper name, Mr. Slim Thugger. This album, it was dropped a few years ago, the album that this song was on, but it was one of his, one of his volumes. I think it was one of his Boss Hog, I forget, but the name of it specifically was American King. It was dropped on August 5th, 2016, so about, almost close to 6 years ago. And I think I first heard this song. I remember I didn't hear it right when the album came out, but when I did hear it, probably 2017, 2018, and I heard this song, man, it was like, that's, especially at that time, I was going through a lot of just thoughts as a father on what to do, how to move forward, making sure I'm making the right decisions. And hearing this song just gave me further validation that, you know what? You're doing it right. You're making the right choices. It's not going to be something you're going to wake up and get it right on the first go round out the gate. you're gonna definitely have some ups and downs and some bumps and bruises. So before we go into the actual lyrics of the song, I wanted to go over the definition of fatherhood. And when I looked up the word fatherhood, of course you hear everything has a root to it. So when you look at the word definition of the word fatherhood, it just gave me simply the state of being a father. So of course with that, I could only do anything else but just go back and see, okay, what is the textbook definition of being a father? What does it mean by the book to be a father? Because, everybody has their own definition on, whoever that male figure was in their life or wasn't in their life, that's their definition of a father. But when we look in the actual like I said, textbook definition of what it takes to be a father, I actually had to go. It gave so many definitions, but for purposes of our episode today and purposes of the topic today, there were two I had to pull from. I normally try to stick with just one definition, but man, it was both kind of went hand in hand with each other. So the first definition I saw of a father was an important figure in the origin and early history of something. So that's just somebody who's important, who gave leeway to the beginning of something in existence. And then the second one, which, like I said, I feel blends directly with that first definition, is a man who gives care and protection to someone or something. So anybody who has a father, everybody has a father. We wouldn't have been here if it wasn't a connection between our mother and our father. I know science is, taking new steps, but everybody has a father to a certain degree. And when I looked at those definitions, these are basically, like I said, the things that I was battling on trying to figure out, understanding first of all, the origin of my children and the origin of where they, where they started as little babies and to where they are now, and how I navigate and help them move through that path. And then the second definition was definitely something that kind of stuck out to me, which was a man who gives care and protection to someone or something. And that's something that's a constant thought in my head is, man, how am I going to protect my children? How am I going to give them what they need in order to be successful? Man, I battle that every single day. And I don't know if battle is the right word, but it's definitely a thought that goes up in my head. Like, I cannot be a disappointment. I cannot let them go through this world and not be prepared for what this world has to bring to them. And that's definitely what I think Slim Thug touched on in this song. And one of the first bars, getting into these bars of this song, one of the first bars that kind of stood out to me that definitely related to that when he first started off the song. He says, "I'm just trying to take my family far from the block. Don't want my kids to see the shit I saw when I grew up. So I'm out here on my grind trying to get my hustle up. Give them a good life, got them living right. Don't have to suffer, starve, never sacrifice. So far from the thug life, and now I gotta learn how to love right." And with that last line, that's the one that kind of hit me. Because I think any parent, mother or father, we always say we want our kids to be definitely better than we are and better than, what we know to be and what we've seen in life. So we all want that for our kids. We all want them to be better than what we are. But when he hit that last line that says, "Now I got to learn how to love right," it made me think, because, me personally, I'm the product of a single parent. It was just me and my mom growing up. That's all it was. That's all I had. And every moment I had in my teenage years, as I got older, all I could think about was, how am I going to go out here and be a man in this world? How am I going to go out here and do the things that the world expects me to do and be the man that the world expects me to be? And not even the world. How am I going to be the man that I think I should be? Because I didn't even have a clue what that even looked like, what being a man looked like. When I had my uncle, and my uncle was a pivotal piece in my bringing up and my upbringing, but he wasn't there every day. I mean, not to say that he was absent or anything, but he was not in my house with me every day, 24/7. When I saw him, it was always wisdom and nuggets being dropped. But as far as somebody in my house every day raising me on day in, day out decisions, I did not have that. So it was a mystery to me trying to figure out how am I going to, reciprocate this once I do become a father, once I do become a man of the world. And as I continue to grow up, I had to take my cues from what I saw, and it first started with me not having that presence of a father every day in my house. And that was the first thing I made sure I dedicated to myself at a young age, is that when I did become a father, when I did become the man of the house, my kids will go see me every day. I'm going to do my best to put myself in a situation where my kids will wake up in the morning to my face and go to sleep at night to my face. And I'll be there for everything that they got going on, and be there in support, be there to kind of guide them in the right direction. So that was definitely something that I feel not having a father pushed me into, was making sure I was the best father. I always said I wanted to make sure I was the best father I knew how to be. And hopefully, looking at my kids now, and my grandson as well, hopefully looking at what they are becoming, hopefully everything that I committed to myself is something that I'm actually doing and giving to them right now. And it's something that they can carry on and hopefully keep this cycle of wisdom and leadership. I have 2 boys and a young girl. And this is hopefully, what they see in me is not only what they need from a male figure in their life, but for my young men, hopefully, for my sons, hopefully it's also teaching them the young man that they need to be. For my daughter, hopefully teaching her how to, when she does come up that age where she starts looking at boys and dating and going out there and being a woman in this world, hopefully it's teaching her the things that she needs to be on the lookout for when she's picking the guy that she wants to date, the guy that she wants to be around, that's going to treat her with respect, because she knows that that's all that her dad gave her, is wisdom and respect. So I wake up every morning sitting here thinking about that, and I think that many of us fathers that are out here are doing that. And especially in the black community, I hear them say it all the time, the statistics and the numbers of single fathers or single parent homes with only the mother and, no father in the household. Granted, there are some dudes out there that are definitely not taking care of their responsibility. They are not doing what they need to do. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing for their family, for their kids. I don't even want to say their family, because, the relationship didn't work out, but they're not out there doing what they need to do for their kids. These are the dudes I'm talking about. We still working on them guys. But as far as some of these single fathers that are out here, there have been some single fathers, and I've witnessed it, with my own, cousins and friends. So, the women being vindictive, and I'm not generalizing, I'm not saying this, but in these certain situations, you do have women that are vindictive, that are upset because the relationship didn't last, or y'all aren't still together, and this man has moved on, but now y'all have this child together, and they want to pit this child against this man and use this child as a pawn piece. Like, if you as the father of my child, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, then I'm gonna restrict how often or how many times you can see your son or your daughter. So there are some women out there that play the game. I'm not even going to get into how the legal system has impacted fatherhood. specifically for the black community. That's not even for this episode today, but those y'all who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. And it definitely has been a huge shift in how men want to approach taking care of their children when the court system is brought into the picture, because it's like your back's against the wall, and it's almost like everybody is up against you. And once again, before I get all the comments in the backlash, I'm talking about those fathers who are trying to be stand-up fathers, who are trying to do what they can do for their seed, whether it's being in their life, whether it's giving them advice, and trying to be more than just giving them some money here and there to support whatever it is. It's about being a real father figure. And that kind of goes into one of the next set of bars that Slim Thug put on this album, on this song. And he say, a nigga out here hustling, man, making sure my kids ain't struggling, man. Single father trying to get better. So I wrote all y'all this love letter. And as men, I know that we were not ever raised to tap into our emotions. So for us to tell our kids how we love them and tell them how we're feeling about everything, just about life, just about being a father, some of the trepidation, some of the things that we have had that kind of prevent us, or not even gonna say prevent, some of the things that make us question what it is that we're doing in this fatherhood. You know, we don't know how to express this, and this is another reason why I love hip hop, because hip hop allows artists like Slim Thug and like the first episode we did over Scarface. You know, when you have artists like that, they're able to help tell a story that we, as everyday men, we don't know how to put into words sometimes. We don't know how to say what it means because we still trying to figure it out. So every morning that I wake up, you know, and like I said, I can only relate this to me and some of the situations that I've seen. But every morning that I know that I wake up, whatever it's doing, whether it's going to my 9 to 5, whether it's preparing for this podcast or getting, you know, the media company up and off the ground and doing what it's supposed to do, at the end of the day, it is all revolved and centered around doing what I got to do to make sure that my kids are in a position better than I was growing up in my younger years. So that's all I think, you know, as a man should do. And regardless of the situation, regardless of what happened between you and the mother of the child, at the end of the day, it's about raising that legacy, raising that seed, raising that next generation behind you, and giving them the wisdom so that they can move forward and do what they need to do in order to be successful. So if you're a father that's out there that's not on that mindset, like trying to make your kids better, man, just come holler at me, man. Come holler at me, because I don't want to say you need to do something different, do something better, because I don't know what anybody going through. But, you know, as a man, I feel like we should go out there wanting to improve the next level. And it's all about leveling up. And we are at this level, and our kids are going to be raised and hoisted up to that next better level. But yeah, I really feel that for me, going back to what I was speaking on earlier, being a fatherless, I hate to say the word fatherless, so being a child of a father who was not present, it really left me questioning so many things. And in the last bar, Slim Thug kind of goes through that, you know, talking about how he has no father growing up, so I ain't got no directions, still getting better daily, learning lessons. I'm just trying to get all of God's blessings. And I think that's, you know, where I am right now. You know, I have no idea what I'm doing, man. You know, I have an adult child. I have 2 teens, or preteens, whatever they want to call themselves now. But I wake up every single day confused on if I'm making the right decision, and hoping that I'm talking enough to my kids and kind of being a part of their life, and then also at the same time not talking in times when times don't need to be talked about. Just kind of not being that overbearing parent. Definitely not one of those parents who's just trying to be your best friend, but I also know I keep practicing the balance on when to be all up on you and when to kind of back off and give you that love. So I really think this is something that all men need to be more willing to come up front about and talk about, just because it needs to be discussed that we are all going through this. As fathers, we are all going through this, trying to figure out what it is in life and how we go move forward and how we go do and provide the best for our seeds. So I hope that this episode can help create that conversation, to add more to it, to kind of go into us being able to build a community as men where we can open up comfortably about our experiences and be able to lean on each other as far as how to make better decisions, better choices for our seeds and for our legacy that we are upbringing. So to all my fathers out there, I just wish y'all the best. I want you all to definitely keep striving to be better, and if your situation is not in a good place with the mother of your child, I'm not telling you to sell your soul and do something that's out of character and out of what you are as a person, but try and mend that relationship, because your kids are watching, your kids are seeing it, and they, especially without your presence, they are building their own story in this world, and you don't want them to build a story that's not founded on complete facts, So if to any of my fathers out there who are not with their mothers, who are not in the household, I definitely want you all to try and figure out what can y'all do to help mend that situation, help mend that relationship, so that you all can be a better presence in your child's life. For my men out there that are in the household, that are trying to do the best that they can, that are waking up every day and working for their kids, man, look, keep grinding, fellas, keep grinding. The payoff will pay off. So y'all definitely keep grinding, keep waking up every day and doing everything that you know to do for your kids. Just as long as it's pure, genuine, and from your heart, man, just keep on doing it and keep on grinding, and you'll be all right. You will definitely be all right. So that's really what I wanted to tap on today. If there's some points that y'all feel I missed, let me know. Hit me in the reviews or the comments and all that stuff, and let me know. Second episode in, I'm trying to figure out, first of all, how this whole podcast thing work out, because this is something getting used to, having to sit here and talk, and y'all ain't really there. I'm more of an engaging type person, but I gotta find a way to deliver these words to the world. I feel like that was the purpose that was given to me. So I want to appreciate you all again for tuning in, for clicking the button, for taking a listen with me, for sitting down and hearing what I have to say. I hope that this is something that y'all want to keep on doing and keep on coming back. As long as y'all keep coming around, I'm going to keep on dishing it out. So I appreciate y'all again for coming in and being with me in this moment. But until next time, man, y'all be easy. Y'all be cool, man. I'll catch y'all on the flip side, man. Peace.